Hello and welcome to another episode of today's 𝐃𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐿. I am Pooja Dwivedi, and in this segment today we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Let's consider the following statements. Freedom of press is not expressly protected by the Indian legal system. The Windhoek Declaration is a benchmark for ensuring press freedom around the world. We have to select the correct statement, and both are correct, so option C is the correct answer. And if let's discuss about the explanation. Because of the Editors Guild of India, they have expressed anguish over the shutting down of the Kashmir Press Club. This has been asked. The Constitution guarantees freedom of speech and expression under Article 19. Now that deals with the protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech. Freedom of press is not expressly protected by Indian legal system but implicitly. And it is impliedly protected under the Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A of the Constitution. It states, all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression. If we do not have the right to express ourselves through writing, that is why we can understand that freedom to press is also included. In 1950, the Supreme Court in Ramesh Thapar versus State of Madras observed that freedom of the press lay at the foundation of all democratic organization. Windhoek Declaration is considered as a benchmark for ensuring press freedom around the world. It is a statement of press freedom principles put together by African newspaper journalists in 1991. With reference to NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, consider the following statements. It provides refinance support for building rural infrastructure. It supervises cooperative banks and regional rural banks. So we have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. Option C is the correct answer. The food grain productivity of Gujarat for 2019-2020 is lower than the national average, stated NABARD in its state focus paper for Gujarat for the year 2022-23. NABARD is a statutory body which was established under National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Act 1981. It provides refinance support for building rural infrastructure. It supervises cooperative banks and RRBs and help them develop sound banking practices and integrate them to the core banking solution platform. Which of the following is the westernmost island of Indonesia? The correct answer to this question is Sumatra. Recently, Indonesia's parliament has passed a law approving the relocation of its capital from slowly sinking Jakarta to a site 2,000 kilometers away on jungle-clad Borneo Island that will be named Nusantara. The westernmost and second largest island of Indonesia, Sumatra, which is 1,790 km long, 430 km wide, and is fringed with small islands of its western and eastern coast. Consider the following statements. The La Nina is the cool phase of El Nino Southern Oscillation. The La Nina event happens when ocean surface waters cool along the Pacific coast of the South American tropics. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. Option C is the correct answer. Recently, 2 American agencies have released data showing that 2021 was the world's 6th warmest year on record. La Nina, the cool phase of El Nino Southern Oscillation, is a pattern that describes the unusual cooling of the tropical Eastern Pacific. La Nina events may last between 1 and 3 years, unlike El Nino, which usually lasts no more than a year basically. La Nina is a weather pattern that happens in the Pacific Ocean but affects the weather all around the globe. The event happens when ocean surface waters cool along the Pacific coast of the South American tropics. Moving on, consider the following statements. These mountains emerged near the end of Mesozoic era. They are the most prominent of Western Europe's physiogeographic regions. Mont Blanc basically is the highest peak of the mountain range. All these statements most appropriately describe which of the following mountain ranges. The correct answer to this question is option D, Alps. The Alps emerged during the Alpine orogeny. Orogeny is the mountain building process, an event that began about 65 million years ago as the Mesozoic era was drawing to a close. They are the most prominent of Western Europe's physiogeographic regions. They form parts of France, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Serbia, and Albania. Only Switzerland and Austria can be considered true alpine countries. The Alps extend north from the subtropical Mediterranean coast near Nice, France to Lake Geneva, before trending east-northeast to Vienna, Austria. There, they touch the Danube River and melt with the adjacent plain. Mont Blanc is the highest peak in the Alps in Europe, reaching a lofty 4,804 meters above the sea level. It is located in the Grain Alps and lies within France, Switzerland, and Italy. Consider the following about eastern swarm deer. Eastern swarm deer is found in the Kaziranga and Dudhwa National Park. There are 3 subspecies of swarm deer, but only 2 of them are found in the Indian subcontinent. We have to select the correct statement. Option first, that is, A is going to be the correct answer. Why? Because first statement is correct, second is incorrect. 3 subspecies of swarm deer are found in the Indian subcontinent. The population of the vulnerable eastern swarm deer extinct elsewhere in South Asia has dipped in the Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. There are 3 subspecies of swarm deer that are found in the Indian subcontinent. The western swarm deer is found in Nepal. Southern swarm deer, hard ground parasinga, is found in the central and north India. Eastern swarm deer is found in Kaziranga and Dudhwa National Park. Moving on. With respect to the Arabian Peninsula, consider the following statements. It is bounded only by the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, the Arabian Sea, and the Persian Gulf. The northern boundaries of Saudi Arabia and of Kuwait are generally considered as marking the limit of Arabia there. We have to select the correct statement. First statement is not correct. Second is correct. Option B is the correct answer. Yemen's Houthi rebels used cruise and ballistic missiles in addition to drones in an attack on Abu Dhabi this week. The attack made the Arabian Peninsula on the brink of turmoil again. Arabian Peninsula region, together with offshore islands, is located in the extreme southwestern corner of Asia. The Arabian Peninsula is bounded by the Red Sea on the west and southwest, Gulf of Aden on the south, Arabian Sea on the south and southeast, Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf on the east. Geographically, the peninsula and the Syrian desert, they merge in the north with no clear line of demarcation, but the northern boundaries of Saudi Arabia and of Kuwait are generally considered as the marking of the limit of Arabia. The Delhi High Court is hearing a challenge to the constitutional validity of the marital rape immunity. With respect to marital rape, consider the following statements. IPC Section 375 defines rape, but does not define the notions of consent that count. Canada and Australia are the only countries that have enacted laws that criminalize marital rape. We have to select the statement which is or are not correct. Both are not correct. Option C is going to be the correct answer. Let's know why. A 2-judge bench of Justices Rajiv Shakhdher and C. Harishankar is hearing a clutch of 4 petitions challenging the constitutionality of the exception to Section 375 of the Indian Penal Code. IPC Section 375 defines rape and lists 7 notions of consent that, if vitiated, would constitute the offence of rape by a man. The crucial exemption, sexual intercourse or sexual acts by a man with his own wife, the wife not being under 18 years of age, is not rape. Marital rape immunity is known to several post-colonial common law countries. The marital rape exception was overturned by the House of Lords in 1991 in UK. Canada, South Africa and Australia have enacted laws that criminalize marital rape. Moving on, with respect to the Pacific Ring of Fire and or Pacific Rim, consider the following statements. Its traces are from New Zealand, covering Tonga, Indonesia, Japan, Aleutian Islands, North America and South America only. It is home to about 75% of world's volcanoes and 90% of the world's earthquake. We have to select the correct statement. First is not correct. Second is correct. Option B is the correct answer. The Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai volcano erupted. It lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is also known as the Circum-Pacific Belt, and it is an area along the Pacific Ocean. Its length is over 40,000 kilometers. It traces from New Zealand clockwise, an almost circular arc. It covers Tonga, Kermadec Islands, Indonesia, moving up to Philippines and Japan, then stretching eastward to the Aleutian Islands and then southwards along the western coast of North America and South America. With respect to antibiotic resistance, a study published in the medical journal Lancet, consider the following statements with regard to it. Drug resistance in lower respiratory infections had the greatest impact on the AMR disease burden. Deaths caused directly by AMR were estimated to be the highest in Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. Option C is the correct answer. At least 1.2 million people have died in 2019 as a direct result of antibiotic-resistant bacterial infections according to a study published in the medical journal Lancet. The new global research on antimicrobial resistance report estimates deaths linked to 23 pathogens and 88 pathogen drug combinations in 204 countries and territories in 2019. Drug resistance in lower respiratory infections such as pneumonia had the greatest impact on AMR disease burden, and it poses threat to people of all ages, but young children were found to be at particularly high risk. Deaths caused directly by AMR were estimated to be the highest in Sub-Saharan and South Asia. The Saarthi mobile app recently in the news has been launched by which of the following organizations? The correct answer to this question is option D, Securities and Exchange Board of India. SEBI has launched Saarthi, a mobile app on investor education. The app will be helpful in easily accessing all the relevant information like the basic concepts of security market. Let's move on to the practice question. With reference to the electoral bonds, consider the following statements. It is a financial instrument for making donations to political parties. Reserve Bank of India is authorized to issue and in cash these bonds. We have to select the correct statement. So I hope you'll be answering it correctly in the comment segment. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.